I got diagnosed with autoimmune hepatitis at 9, so I went into a coma for a week, and then because my liver just shut down, and so they didn't do a transplant because I was healing or something like that. It was at Vanderbilt Children's Hospital.
Is that a like a family thing, or did it just randomly?
It just randomly happens. Autoimmune diseases, it's really difficult to point to. Oh,
How?
was it environmental or was it a family thing? It's
Right.
it's really tricky type of thing. And so then it was just, oh, you have this disease. Well, now you're getting better after we put you on these meds and took you off these meds later. And then I was the equivalent of in remission until 2020.
Wow.
And then 2020 happened.
What were your symptoms?
20, it's like beforehand, everything was fine. And then 2020 happened, and then my health just kind of declined because you still have the autoimmune disease, but it's just beat up my liver over the course of 30 years.
Yeah.
And so after 30 years...
Because I remember when I met you, I mean, you were sick then, because I think I was on Nicole's team, but I don't remember exactly how all that came to be.
Yes, it's kind of, if you think of it this way, it's like the disease doesn't go away when
you're in remission.
It's just.
So did something trigger it in 2020 or was it just the culmination of the 30 years?
It was the culmination of 30. So think about being beat up over the course of 30 years, and that was that was my liver.
So
Did they never say you really needed to get on a transplant list?
They was going to when I was 9, but then I don't remember what happened because I was really out of it. But it was just like, oh, he seems to be getting better. And
Did
then
they say? Oh, God, sorry, I just turned that up like crazy. Did they say that you would have to at some point though have one?
No, I don't remember anything. But
Yeah.
they said they did that in 2020. Is when 2020 happened, when my health started to decline. Right around, I think, like the end of August. So like my eyes started turning yellow, skin turning
Jaundice.
yellow, and jaundice and everything.
Yeah.
And then I had to see a
gosh.
specialist, and they were just like, we're looking at a transplant in the future, but not the immediate future. But then I started getting worse by
That's
like
so
leaps and
scary.
jumps, and then they were just like, actually, we need to start that process now. And then a whole bunch of tests happened, and then I had to do it in Kentucky because the insurance wouldn't cover it at Vanderbilt. And then
You had to do the transplant in Kentucky?
you have to do all the transplant evaluation and the eventual transplant in Kentucky because the insurance wasn't going to cover it here because they weren't. They were renegotiating, quote
I
unquote.
heard the list is really long.
Yeah, the list was really long, and Vanderbilt called me. And they were just like,
What list?
The
the
transplant
transplant
list.
list.
Oh,
A lot of people signed up to be donors, but the problem was the insurance wasn't going to pay for any of it. And so,
There's some really good guys over there at insurance companies, aren't they?
right? And so Vanderbilt calls me and says, hey, are you Odie? And I was like, yeah, are you going to pick someone? Because you have a lot of people on this list. I was like, unfortunately, I can't because the insurance is not going to pay any of it, and I don't have $500,000.
That's insane to me.
And so
You said that their justification for not covering it is because they were renegotiating with Vanderbilt at the time?
they were renegotiating their contract. According to the financial coordinator at the time, she was saying how they were renegotiating their contract with the insurance company. And so, but at that time, they're currently off of the insurance company's like list
While they're doing that.
while they're renegotiation.
Which is just
And-
super convenient for you, of course.
Yes. And so they were just like, she was like, because we were going to start the process in Vanderbilt. And so, but before we did, the financial coordinator was like, wait, stop. Before y'all move forward, the insurance company's not going to cover any of it. So unless you have $500,000 and then $8,000 a month for the first year to do the self-pay option, then you're going to have to talk to your insurance company. And so she's like, well, do you want to do the self-pay option? I was like, no, I don't really have $500,000 lying around. And so I had to call the insurance company for them to give me a list of what they call Blue Distinction Transplant Centers because Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Yeah.
And then so they said the nearest one to you is in Louisville, Kentucky. And so I had to go to Louisville so they can cover the actual evaluation and potential transplant.
Who was the donor? Did you?
I don't know who the donor, the name. I just know it was a 5'4" lady from Kentucky who was 37, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, because they match you based off of body type, blood type, and a whole bunch of other things.
Okay.
And they find the nearest person based on how sick you are, and if you have comorbidities, and if you engage in dangerous behavior. No.
Okay.
Because I was put higher on the list because I wasn't smoking, drinking, doing drugs, skydiving, or whatever. Because they ask you these questions of, hey, so like, do you drink? Do you smoke? Do you have thoughts of hurting yourself? Not because they care about you. It's more
they want
so
to make sure their asset is used, right?
Yeah, they want to make sure that if we give you this liver,
are you going to take care of it? Yeah,
because that's why.
Because the liver's function is to filter.
It's to filter a bunch of toxins outside of your body in the form of bile, and so the problem
Doesn't it do something with hormones too? Does it?
I'm not sure. It functions. There's a whole lot of functions. I think there's like over 100 different things.
It produces hormones. When I looked it up.
Yeah. Allows
digestion, stores energy, filters for blood.
It does a whole lot of stuff, and it pretty much runs on protein, I think. But it's just like it's a solid organ in your body that you can't live without.
Right.
In the sense of like, so as they're going through this process, they have to ask you these questions. They have to test your heart. Mm-hmm. They have to basically find out, do you have any other things going on? Which I didn't. And so they were just like, okay, you're otherwise.
What's the skydiving thing?
The skydiving thing just means.
Just in general, they don't want you to jump out of a plane right
it's like, do you engage in dangerous behavior?
Anything that would put the liver we're about to put in your body at risk.
Yes. Do you engage in risky behavior?
Yeah.
If you do, then we're
not giving you this liver.
You have a lower chance of getting it. That's why.
It's high of a priority for sure.
Yeah. That's why people who drink and then they have liver problems like later on, it's not necessarily that they can't get on the list,
but they
don't necessarily put you at like higher priority.
Right, sure.
So because they assess, how did you come to have end-stage cirrhosis?
Yeah.
Did you come through that through?
It's so scary.
So do they care about that because they want to know that like when they ask in that scenario, they want to know whether you did this to yourself separately, but they also want to know.
Obviously, you had that issue since you were a kid.
It's one of those things to where they have to figure out what is the root cause of your end-stage cirrhosis.
And that will qualify you whether or not you're going to get it fixed in general.
That will qualify you whether or not you get on the list, and if you do, what priority level you are.
And then they would also be asking that, I'm assuming, because that person can't go back to drinking after that, right? Like, so that would be a problem.
There's not anything preventing you from drinking after you get.
But they want to know you don't have an alcoholism disease.
And so if you are an alcoholic, it's going to be very difficult for you to be on the list. And if you're on the list, it's going to be very difficult for you to get a transplant because their concern is, okay, if you get this second chance at life, or however many chance it was, are you going to go back to drinking? Because then if you're drinking and you're on these anti-rejection meds, you're essentially poisoning yourself. Because I think it counteracts, it goes against the meds that you have to be on for life if you just start drinking. And so it's one of those things to where they say, quote unquote, we highly recommend that you don't drink, because I don't think they can say don't drink. They just can highly recommend that you don't.
Was that when you started going downhill, did you start having a lot of confusion?
Eventually. I had confusion right around December 15th of 2020.
Yeah.
Was when it happened.
Did you know that was from your liver?
I knew that it was...
Because I didn't know that.
It's called hepatic encephalopathy.
Yeah.
The idea is
it
that...
allows too much copper.
You have toxins in your body.
In your blood.
And then the liver can't filter it out because your liver is damaged. And what happens is you get confused. It's like being drunk but without actually drinking. Yeah. And then they have to take the toxins out of your body. And so I think they give you lactulose, I think it's what it's called. And then it's like a syrup that you drink, and then it pulls the toxins out.
Okay.
And then, so basically, you forget a
So,
lot of
so
things.
when that was going on, I mean, I'm sure you were. That's got to be terrifying.
That's the second time that happened. It happened when I was 9, and then it happened again on December 15th, 2020. Because your vision gets blurry, you can't really see all that well.
Were you dancing then?
I
When
was
all-
trying to, but then
God.
but you run out of energy. So like all of your stamina gets cut by 2/3
Yeah.
pretty much. And so you could, anytime that because I was sitting down a lot after like trying to do a salsa class, and I was like, okay, I need to sit
Right.
every 5 minutes.
I mean, did you even know that? Yeah, like this is my liver for sure.
I knew what it is because the same thing happened when I was 9. Because it's
Right.
just like
Yeah, but
could-
you were 9. Now you're like an adult.
Because everybody tells you over the course of your life, in a sense of just like you were
Right.
having trouble with endurance because your liver was heavily damaged, or you were having trouble with this, or you ran out of your IV at 9 because you had a hepatic encephalopathy episode, and you were
Yeah.
thinking that X, Y, and Z was going. So the more damage your liver, the more higher chance you're going to have an episode like that, because of the fact that there's so many toxins in your brain
Right.
that you don't remember things well, and you start thinking something's happening that it's not. And so like, because for example, I got my master's in May of 2020.
Wow.
And so
Congrats.
my
That's awesome.
because they asked me that while I was in the emergency room. It's like, oh yeah, because they're trying to
Asked
make
you what?
conversation. And it was
Oh,
like, hey,
okay.
so when did you get your master's degree? I was like, oh, I got it in 2016. And my brother has this on video. He can't watch it as much anymore because it makes him sad.
Yeah.
And he's like, my brother was like, no, you got it in 2020, because you start forgetting things.
Right.
And then it becomes more permanent the longer you're in that state.
So you could end up with actual dementia.
Like
You
the
can end up,
memory loss
not necessarily
becomes more?
dementia, you can end up with memory problems the longer you stay there. And so they were like, well, he's not going to have any memory problems because it just happened like right now. So we gave him this thing, and that was the same day that I got on the transplant list at a 30, I think.
So when you actually went for the surgery, how long is that? That sounds like
It was a 9-hour operation.
Was any of this, I'm assuming, was complicated quite a bit by the time period too, right?
Yeah, because you're doing a organ transplant and then becoming extremely vulnerable and susceptible to infection.
in 2020.
In 2020,
That's what I'm saying.
at
That's
the
what I'm
height
saying,
of
yeah.
the pandemic.
But I mean,
Yeah.
you couldn't get a dog into a vet during that time period, much less get a full organ transplant done.
Yeah, but it's just like the hospital
Well,
has to manage that. It's like, what do you do
Right.
instead? It's
Right,
like
right.
then it means that you're stuck in this house, in this transplant apartments in Louisville, and you can go out, but you
transplant
have.
apartment?
Is that when you were
Yeah.
starting to do the videos? Because I would watch your videos of
I
you
did.
like dancing.
I started doing the videos in the hospital, and then I
Yeah.
did them in the apartments.
Yes,
And then I did
that's what I
them
remember.
after I eventually got out. I did like TikTok videos when I was staying with a friend. And so
How long's the recovery after you have that?
5 or 6 months.
Wow.
5 to
No, I
6
mean like
months.
okay, so you have the surgery and it's like you probably have a pretty extensive scar.
It's a chevron scar.
It's a what?
Chevron scar. Think of like the Mercedes
This?
symbol.
No wait.
Think about the Mercedes symbol.
Okay.
It's that.
Oh wow.
So
And-
that's crazy.
Yeah.
And how
They cut you open.
How far up?
They cut you
Well, it's-
open. It's like here.
Yep.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That does
It's
look
a
like the Mercedes
wishbone.
limit.
Yeah.
It does look like the Mercedes.
It's a wishbone.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
I think they said
9-hour
Chevron or whatever.
surgery.
Yeah, it's a 9-hour surgery, and then you immediately go into the ICU for like a week afterwards.
Okay.
Because you can't do anything on your own right now.
You can't get up, you can't
No, and so you're on I think like they had me on oxycodone,
Oh,
and
wow.
then you
It's heavy duty.
and then because you just like got major like surgery.
Well, yeah, for sure.
And then at the same time,
And then
you
they-
have to like not relearn, but you have to like retrain your body to like walk and stand up and sit up and everything, but
Huh.
not like all at once. You have
Why,
to be
why
like,
do you have to relearn those things from that? I mean, it seems like a dumb question, maybe, but
it's like,
Well, yeah,
it's
especially with
it's
the
like
liver.
retraining your body in a sense of just like, we have to get like the motor running again. It's like starting up an old car. It's like somebody comes in, it's like a physical therapist.
Right.
And they're like, okay, I'm your physical therapist. The first thing we're going to do is get you to sit up. Great. Now, next time when I come in, we're going to get you to stand. The next time to come in, we're going to get you to get up and go sit on that chair.
Well, I guess
over there.
it affects your abdominal muscles.
Yeah,
too,
because your whole
right?
That's what I
core
was
is
asking. That's what I was asking.
Yeah, your whole core is gone.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was saying.
You can't just sit up regularly. You have
Right.
to turn to the side, put your hands on the bed, and push yourself up.
Right.
And so because you don't have your core anymore. And so
Right.
we really use our core for a lot of things.
Everything.
That you don't realize it until it's just gone.
Were you aware of this, of everything that was to come?
Yeah,
when
because
you
they
had
tell
that
you
sur-
this during evaluation. And they said, okay, once you get this transplant, these are the things you have to be aware of. It's like, one, the recovery process is about 5 to 6 months. And then 2, you're going to have to stop eating grapefruit and pomegranates and no medium steak and then no runny eggs.
Because it's hard to digest? Or
Because
what?
your immune system is suppressed forever.
Okay.
And so if you get infected,
Oh, it's suppressed forever.
yes, because you're on these meds for life.